Hey everybody, we're on day 197 of our Bible in a Year series, continuing on in the book of Ecclesiastes. Again, like I said yesterday, Ecclesiastes is it's a book I really enjoy, and I think I enjoy it because it is a kind of an honest look at how you would have to view life without God. And so this is something that I think people who don't believe in God, they really have to wrestle with this. And I think it shows that it helps to show the hope that we actually have as believers, that this is not it, right? And yeah, it's a good, really good book. I don't think it gets enough credit. I think more people should read it. I think more people should read the Bible in general, but Ecclesiastes, go read it or read along with us. We're about to start chapter 4. If you haven't, you can go back and listen to yesterday's. We did 1 through 3, and then we'll do 4 through 6 today. It's only 4 days. Pretty easy, pretty quick read. So we'll jump straight in. Chapter 4. Again, I observed all the acts of oppression being done under the sun. Look at the tears of those who are oppressed. They have no one to comfort them. Power is with those who oppress them. They have no one to comfort them. So I commended the dead who have already died more than the living who are still alive. But better than either of them is the one who has not yet existed, who has not seen the evil activity that is done under the sun. I saw that all labor and all skillful work is due to one person's jealousy of another. This too is futile and a pursuit of the wind. The fool folds his arms and consumes his own flesh. Better one handful with the rest than two handfuls with the effort and a pursuit of the wind. Again, I saw futility under the sun. There's a person without a companion, without even a son or brother. And though there is no end to all this struggles, his eyes are still not content with riches. Who am I struggling for? He asked, depriving myself of good things. This too is futile and a miserable task. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their efforts. For if either falls, his companion can lift him up. But pity on the one who falls without another to lift him up. Also, if we lie down together, they can keep warm. But how can one person alone keep warm? And if someone overpowers one person, two can resist him. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Better is a poor but wise youth than an old but foolish king who no longer pays attention to warnings. For he came from prison to be a king. Even though he was born poor in his kingdom, I saw all the living who move about under the sun follow a second youth who succeeds him. There is no limit to all the people who are before them, yet those who come later will not rejoice in him. This too is futile and a pursuit of the wind. Chapter 5. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Better to approach in obedience than to offer the sacrifice as fools do, for they ignorantly do wrong. Do not be hasty to speak, and do not be impulsive to make a speech before God. God is in heaven, and you are on earth, so let your words be few. Just as dreams accompany much labor, so also a fool's voice comes with many words. When you make a vow to God, don't delay fulfilling it, because he does not delight in fools. Fulfill what you vow. Better that you do not vow than that you vow and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth bring guilt on you, and do not say in the presence of the messenger that it was a mistake. Why should God be angry with your words and destroy the work of your hands? For many dreams bring futility, so do many words. Therefore, fear God. If you see oppression of the poor, and perversion of justice and righteousness in the province, don't be astonished at the situation, because one official protects another official, and higher officials protect them. The profit from the land is taken by all, the king is served by the field. The one who loves silver is never satisfied with silver, and whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with income. This too is futile. When good things increase, the ones who consume them multiply. What then is the profit to the owner, except to gaze at them with his eyes? The sleep of the worker is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the abundance of the rich permits him no sleep. There is a sickening tragedy I have seen under the sun, wealth kept by its owner to his harm, that wealth was lost in a bad venture. So when he fathered a son, he was empty handed. As he came from his mother's womb, so he will go again, naked as he came. He will take nothing for his efforts, so that he can carry in his hands. This too is a sickening, I don't know why I can't say that word, tragedy. Exactly as he comes, so he will go. What does the one gain who struggles for the wind? What is more? He eats in darkness all his days, with much frustration, sickness, and anger. Here is what I have seen to be good. It is appropriate to eat, drink, and experience good in all the labor one does under the sun during the few days of his life God has given him, because that is his reward. Furthermore, everyone whom God has given riches and wealth, he has also allowed him to enjoy them. That take his reward and rejoice in his labor. This is a gift from God, for he does not often consider the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with the joy of his heart. Chapter 6. Here is a tragedy I have observed under the sun, and it weighs heavily on humanity. God gives a person riches, wealth, and honor, so that he lacks nothing of all he desires for himself. But God does not allow him to enjoy them. Instead, a stranger will enjoy them. This is futile and a sickening tragedy. I cannot say sickening. A man may father 100 children and live many years. No matter how long he lives, if he is not satisfied by good things and does not even have a proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. For he comes in futility, and he goes in darkness, and his name is shrouded in darkness. Though a stillborn child does not see the sun and is not conscious, it has more rest than he. And if a person lives 1,000 years twice, but does not experience happiness, do not both go to the same place? All of the person's labor is for his stomach, yet the appetite is never satisfied. What advantage, then, does a wise person have over the fool? What advantage is there for the poor person who knows how to conduct himself before others? Before what the eyes see, then wondering, or better than what the eyes see, then wondering desire. This too is futile and a pursuit of the wind. Whatever exists was given its name long ago, and it is known what mankind is, but he is not able to contend with the one stronger than he. For when there are many words, they increase futility. What is the advantage for mankind? For who knows what is good for anyone in life in the few days of his futile life that he spends like a shadow? Who can tell anyone what will happen after him under the sun? That is it for today, except for our questions. Question 1. Ecclesiastes 4 contrasts isolation with the strength of companionship. How does this speak to the importance of community, and what role does godly friendship play in a meaningful life? You may have noticed that passage in Ecclesiastes 4 is quoted frequently at weddings. And not saying that it's not applicable at weddings, I think it can be. But I think, especially in the West, we have kind of sold that verse to only be for weddings and marriage. When that's not the case. Even my wife and I, when we got married, we got instead of the unity candle thing, it was like a board, and it has 3 ropes, and we did that, or we like braided them and then tied it off, and it's hanging up in our living room. But it has the passage on there: a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And the purpose being said here, and leading up to that, and then that cord of 3 strands, talking about the the importance and how much more you can get done, how much more effective you are, how much stronger you are, how much safer you are by not going at this life thing alone. That can be a spouse, it could also be a friend. There's a lot of different possibilities, but specifically that cord of three strands. When you're looking at it from a marriage thing, it is the husband, the wife, and God. Um, because it's not just marriage done right is not just a husband and a wife. God has to be in the mix of it. Okay, my camera froze. I don't know where I left out at. I'll just guess. Friendships also. Friendships are much better, much stronger when they are godly friendships and God is in the mix of that. Um, that's where that third strand comes from. Question 2. Ecclesiastes 5 warns us to approach God with reverence and humility. What does it look like to let our words be few before God? And how can we grow in a posture of awe and trust in worship? I've talked on this a little bit already. Um, Back in when we were Leviticus, I think is when I really started hitting it. But I think trying to work towards having a proper understanding of actually how holy God is, how good God is, and how evil, wicked, vile sin is. I think that is something that helps. I think that is something that we can kind of get away from understanding with not having to face our sin or the consequences of our sin straight on. You know, we see in the Old Testament when they would have to make a blood sacrifice to atone for their sin. That was something that they saw. They saw the consequences of their sin right there in the animal that was it was killed. It was laid out. It was burned up. So they got to see it. I think now what has been done for us, the penalty that was paid for our sin, is far greater than seeing any animal go through anything. But we don't always have to face it head on. We don't always have to see it and look at it. And so it can be very, very easy for us to, I think, not understand how how bad it actually is, how much it actually cost. Um, Now, there's some ways you can help. I think, like I said, understanding how truly good God is and how truly evil and wicked our sin is one way to do that. Proper understanding or proper reading through the Gospels and what Jesus did on the cross can be one. There's other things too. Like I will periodically watch through something like the Passion of the Christ, the Mel Gibson movie, and seeing that, like, it's difficult to watch at times. It's difficult to watch at times, and reminding myself when I do see it that that was done for me. That was done for the sin that when when I've done things or had thoughts or even times where I would stay up too late and I would get on my computer and get into stuff that I shouldn't be. I had no business getting into, or um, anything, lying, cheating, stealing, uh, all of that. Everything that I have done is what sent Christ to the cross. That's what made it necessary for Christ to go to the cross. So that can be, um, seeing that can be kind of sobering, and you know you don't want to. it's a fine line. You don't want to get into where you're so hyper fixating on what you've done wrong, because there is grace and that has been paid for. And so we don't want to dwell on our past sins. But I do think it is healthy to see that occasionally and have a proper understanding of what it actually cost. I think that will help us to have more of the proper reverence for Jesus. Um, Question 3. Ecclesiastes 6 reflects on the emptiness of riches without the ability to enjoy them. How can we learn to pursue contentment? I don't know why I said that like that, rather than constantly striving for more. Having a Christian worldview, a Christian mindset, understanding that this life is not it. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction compared to what is to come. And so I think that helps us to put perspective right on the things that actually matter, and to focus on the things that actually matter versus things that are fleeting, that are here today and gone tomorrow, and don't really end up mattering a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. So that is it for today. It's been good. Like I said, I really enjoy Ecclesiastes. We'll probably end up doing more of a slow walk through at some point in time, and really, really digging into some of it. I think. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I clicked my button too early. I think it's good stuff. So yeah, now here's the ending. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as all those things help the channel grow. If this has been a blessing to you, you can share it with somebody else. It can be a blessing to them, and word of mouth is the best way that podcasts grow as well. So that can be something that helps this channel as well. Come back every single day. We're going to have more content every single day. Bible reading plan. We're going through the Bible an entire year, different teachings, all kinds of just really great biblical sound stuff like that. So you're not going to want to miss it. Come back, subscribe. Thanks. God bless.